Saturn in the second house of your natal chart is going to really apply this totality and gravity onto your own values. Very similar to a Saturn in Taurus, you're going to be very serious about what you have, but it's really going to represent the totality of everything that you, through discipline, can manifest and make happen. Especially, I would say, the crystallization of one's values and how serious you are about enforcing those values. All right, so a Saturn in Taurus, and specifically Saturn in second house, is not going to shake up on their values. They're not necessarily going to compromise on them because of the integrity with which they express them. Only to the extent that it aligns with those values will they work with others, which is really cool because Saturn and second are the type of people who you can't really buy. If it does not honor their worth and value, they would rather stick with what they have because they have a whole world of their own worth. And this enables them to be a self-generating producer, able to create an entire world based off their own services and products. That doesn't mean they can't outsource. That doesn't mean that they can't work with other people. That doesn't mean other people can't make stuff for them or with them. But it's going to represent a lot of not only that quality of values, but now the quality of their self-esteem. And now this can work both ways. Remember, Saturn is liberation. So this liberates one's finances. It liberates one's self-esteem. And before that, right, the first 28 years of life could represent really being pressured, right? Really being bogged down, maybe struggling with self-esteem because of the pressure to really make something of yourself, or perhaps feel like, you know, there's more that you have to do in order to really prove your value. When this is liberated, then of course you see that there's so much you can accomplish with your own value and as such what you are worth, okay? And I think it really goes a long way towards really developing the nature of one's confidence through this journey. If Kanye West really is a Cancer rising, I haven't verified his rising sign, that would mean that his Saturn in Leo is in his second house. And should this be true, it's a really good example because unlike Jupiter in the second that will expand one's wealth relatively quickly, Saturn does take the cycle, right? A Saturn in Leo like Kanye West went through his cycle, right? And by the time he became like squaring in his Scorpio and opposing Aquarius, he became a billionaire, which lets you know Saturn is also a great indicator of wealth in a second, but over time. It can happen quickly too, but it's definitely something that with discipline and coming into the completion of this can quite literally secure one a literal fortune, but not if you exert the discipline. It's not like Jupiter where it does require work too, but it comes easy to us. You feel me? Like it's just, we just got it like that. Saturn in the second got it like that too, totally. But they have to unpack this world and be willing to, through, you know, discipline, own the authority that comes over what they produce. You comment down below your thoughts on what a placement like this is. Potential negatives is you could be challenged with your own confidence if you're way too hard on yourself. But when you liberate through that, you help liberate the self-esteem of others. And until next time,